The dawn breaks, painting the sky as Frank speeds along a winding coastal road on his vintage motorbike. The rising sun casts a long shadow behind Frank, a solitary figure against the vast expanse of the sea. Wind whips through Frank's hair, carrying the scent of salt and the promise of the open road. His determined gaze is fixed on the horizon, each mile a testament to his unwavering resolve. The motorbike roars, a symphony of freedom and adventure echoing against the backdrop of the ocean. Frank arrives at a small seaside town, the salty air heavy with the promise of the ocean. His motorbike rumbles to a stop near a quaint cafe, sunlight glinting off the chrome. The cafe stands as a beacon of warmth, a contrast to the rugged beauty of the sea. The air is filled with the cries of gulls and the distant hum of fishing boats. Frank pauses, taking in the scene, a sense of anticipation etched on his face. He dismounts, the scent of salt and coffee mingling in the gentle breeze. Frank enters the bright seaside cafe, his silhouette framed against the sunlit doorway. His weary eyes scan the room, a desperate search etched on his face. He clutches his helmet tightly, a silent testament to battles fought and journeys endured. Each step he takes echoes his exhaustion, his presence a stark contrast to the cafe's cheerful ambiance. A profound sense of being lost lingers around him, as palpable as the sea breeze. Hope flickers in his eyes, a fragile ember amidst the weariness. Inside the seaside cafe, Christina stands, her presence a beacon of calm. Behind the counter, her warm smile greets Frank, promising a moment of respite. The air is filled with a sense of comfort, a peaceful harbor in the day's journey. Christina's calm demeanor is a balm to the soul. A quiet welcome sets the stage for a heartfelt exchange. Frank sits alone at a seaside cafe window, the distant pier a hazy silhouette against the bright day. Lost in thought, he nurses a cup of black coffee, his gaze fixed on the horizon. The rhythmic sound of waves provides a melancholic backdrop to his solitude. Sunlight streams through the window, casting long shadows that accentuate his contemplative mood. Each sip of coffee seems to deepen the well of his introspection. His face, etched with time, reflects a story untold, held captive by the sea's vastness. Sunlight streams into the seaside cafe as Christina walks purposefully toward Frank's table. Her eyes reflect a deep curiosity, mixed with a profound sense of empathy. Each step she takes is measured, her gaze fixed intently on Frank. The atmosphere thickens with unspoken emotions as she nears. Sunlight floods the seaside cafe as Frank gently retrieves an old camera bag, its leather whispering tales of past adventures. The worn leather bears witness to countless journeys, each mark a silent echo of captured moments. Christina watches, her eyes reflecting the bright sunlight and a spark of curiosity. A silent question hangs in the air. What stories does this old camera hold within? Inside the cozy seaside cafe, sunlight streams across a table where Frank carefully opens a worn camera bag. A subtle tremor betrays Frank's inner nerves as his fingers fumble with the bag's latch. With a soft sigh, the bag opens, revealing the dark gleam of an antique camera nestled inside. The aged camera sits silently, its lens a dark eye reflecting the anticipation in Frank's gaze. A wave of memories washes over Frank as he stares at the camera, a relic of times long past. The camera seems to hum with untold stories, waiting to be awakened once more by Frank's touch. Sunlight streams into the seaside cafe, illuminating dust motes dancing in the air. Frank's hand, weathered and worn, pushes a faded photograph across the aged wooden table. The photograph reveals a man on a motorbike, his face tilted towards the sun, a joyful smile. Christina's eyes fix on the image, a mix of curiosity and longing flickering across her face. The cafe's quiet hum fades as Christina is drawn into the photograph's silent story. In the seaside cafe, Christina sits alone at a table, the morning light catching the dust motes in the air around her. Her fingers trace the outline of a photograph, her eyes softening as a wave of understanding washes over her face. The photograph reflects in her eyes, evoking a memory. A faint smile touches her lips as she gazes at the photograph, a silent story unfolding in her eyes. Sunlight floods the seaside cafe, motes of dust swirling in golden rays, illuminating the quiet morning. Frank leans forward, his gaze intense as he holds out a faded photograph, a silent story etched on his face. The worn photograph captures a man standing proudly, the details softened by time and memory. He points to the figure in the photo, his voice tinged with longing and determination. "That man in the photo is my father," Frank says, his words hanging in the sunlit air. "And I'm looking for the pier in the picture," he adds, a quest and a legacy intertwined in his hopeful gaze. Sunlight floods the seaside cafe, motes of dust swirling in golden light. Christina leans in, her gaze gentle and understanding. Frank's eyes are distant, lost in memories as he stares out at the sea. "I can help you find the pier, Frank," Christina says softly. "I sense it means a lot to you." On a sunny seashore, Christina gestures towards the horizon, her hand outstretched as she guides Frank along the sandy beach. The vast expanse of the ocean stretches before them, the distant coastline a hazy promise on the horizon. Waves gently lap at the shore, their rhythmic sound a constant backdrop to their seaside walk. Christina's eyes sparkle with excitement as she shares her vision of what lies beyond the visible shore. Frank listens intently, his gaze following Christina's towards the blurred line where the sky meets the sea. A sense of anticipation hangs in the air as they move forward, their silhouettes outlined against the bright, open sky. On the seashore, Frank meticulously adjusts the camera, guided by Christina's directions. Frank's focus intensifies as he peers through the lens, the vast ocean stretching behind him. A subtle shift in Frank's expression hints at a growing realization. His eyes widen, a flicker of recognition sparking within them. The camera lens captures the subtle nuances of Frank's dawning awareness. A moment of profound understanding washes over Frank as he remains focused. Frank squints against the sun, the sea breeze tugging at his jacket as he faces the vast, shimmering ocean. A silhouette pierces the horizon, a familiar shape against the skyline. Boscombe Pier. The pier rises from the water, a haunting echo from the depths of memory. It is the pier from his father's photograph, a tangible link to a past both distant and achingly present. Gentle waves kiss the sun-drenched shore. Frank stands beside Christina, the ocean's vastness mirroring the depth of his emotions. "I can't tell you how relieved I am," Frank confesses, his voice filled with newfound peace. He turns to Christina, gratitude shining in his eyes. "I've finally found what I was looking for." Sunlight glints off the water as Frank and Christina approach the pier entrance. The sea breeze whips around them, carrying the scent of salt and distant adventures. Frank's hair dances in the wind as he glances towards the endless horizon. Christina's eyes reflect the bright sky, a sense of anticipation on her face. The pier stretches out before them, a promise of fun and freedom on the coast. They walk side by side, ready to embrace the day and the possibilities it holds. Bathed in sunlight, Frank and Christina begin their walk along Boscombe Pier, the sea breeze tousling their hair. The salty tang of the sea fills the air as they move further, the pier stretching out before them like a pathway into the ocean. Gulls cry overhead, their calls echoing around the couple as they continue their leisurely stroll. Their silhouettes are stark against the shimmering water, figures dwarfed by the vastness of the sea. A sense of peace settles around them, the rhythmic sound of waves providing a soothing backdrop to their time together. Sunlight bathes Boscombe Pier, alive with activity. Christina stands, the sea breeze playfully ruffling her hair. Her eyes shine with hope against the backdrop of the endless sea. A nervous yet excited energy radiates from her. "I have an exhibition opening tonight," she says, a hint of pride in her voice. "It's my graduation show of photography," she adds, anticipation building. Sunlight paints the sea with shimmering gold as Frank and Christina wander along Boscombe Pier. The air vibrates with the cries of gulls and the joyous sounds of children playing in the distance. Frank turns to Christina, his eyes bright with admiration. "Christina, congratulations. I'm so thrilled for you," Frank says, his voice filled with genuine excitement and support. He pauses, gazing at her with affection. "Your artistic talent is truly remarkable. I've always admired your unique perspective," Frank adds, his words resonating with heartfelt appreciation. The sun-drenched Boscombe Pier buzzes with life as the sea air carries the scent of salt and distant adventures. Frank approaches Christina, an antique camera held reverently in his hands, a bridge to the past. Frank's sincere gaze meets Christina's as he seeks her permission. "Christina, would you mind if I took your photograph?" Frank asks, his voice filled with hope and a touch of nostalgia. He adds, "My father's old camera inspired me," revealing a deeper connection to his request. The camera, a relic of bygone days, stands poised to capture a moment in time. The sea breeze teases Christina's hair as she arrives on Boscombe Pier, a playful glint sparking in her eyes. A smile blooms as she agrees to Frank's request, the vast sea stretching out behind her. She strikes a pose, the weathered wood of the pier a stark contrast to her vibrant energy. The pier frames her, a serene figure against the bustling backdrop of a bright, sunny day. At the pier's edge, Frank guides Christina, the vast sea stretching behind them. Sunlight bathes Christina's face, etching out every contour and emotion. The light reflects in her eyes, hinting at vulnerability. Frank watches her closely, his expression unreadable. The wind whips around them, carrying the scent of salt. The pier stretches into the distance, a path into the unknown. On the vibrant Boscombe Pier, Frank meticulously adjusts his camera, preparing to capture the perfect shot. Christina's radiant smile lights up the pier, a beacon of joy against the seascape. Frank focuses, framing her infectious happiness against the backdrop of the endless horizon. The camera captures a moment of pure, unadulterated bliss, forever preserving Christina's luminous smile. At the edge of Boscombe Pier, Frank pauses, his hair dancing in the sea breeze. His gaze drifts towards the endless horizon, a faraway look clouding his eyes. A faint memory flickers across his face, a ghost from his past. His father's smoking habit comes to mind. Echoes a voice, a narration of remembrance. The vast ocean stretches before him, mirroring the depth of his thoughts. He stands silhouetted against the bright sky, lost in a moment of reflection. The vast expanse of the sea stretches out from Boscombe Pier. Frank pauses, a moment of reflection etched on his face as he stands at the pier's edge. He raises the camera, framing Christina against the sunlit backdrop. The camera clicks, capturing Christina's natural beauty, bathed in sunlight on Boscombe Pier. Frank's smile radiates warmth as he looks at Christina. Gratitude is etched on Frank's face, a silent thank you for her kindness. "Thank you for your help, Christina," Frank says, his voice filled with heartfelt appreciation. He continues, a touch of bashfulness in his tone. "And for letting me take your photo." The vast sea stretches out behind them, mirroring the depth of Frank's gratitude. Christina's presence brings a sense of peace and resolution to Frank on the pier. Under the cloak of night, a salt-laced wind sweeps through the quiet seaside town, carrying whispers of untold stories. Dim streetlights cast elongated shadows, turning cobblestone streets into surreal mosaics of light and darkness. Frank turns, his silhouette framed against the fading light, a promise hanging in the air. "I'll see you later, Christina. I promise I'll visit your exhibition," he says, his words soft against the night silence. Frank speeds along the winding road on his motorbike as night descends. The setting sun bathes the asphalt in a warm, golden light, casting long shadows. The engine roars, a mechanical symphony echoing through the quiet evening. A sense of freedom washes over Frank as he leans into each curve, homeward bound. Frank arrives home to the warm glow of the kitchen, a haven against the night. His mother sits at the kitchen table, a silent sentinel awaiting his return. The room is filled with unspoken words and anticipation. A tense reunion unfolds in the heart of Frank's home. Warm kitchen light stretches shadows across the checkered floor, a silent witness to the unfolding drama. Frank's mother stands at the stove, her back turned, a fortress of unspoken tension. Her tense shoulders betray the anticipation simmering beneath the surface. Turning slightly, she asks a question that cuts through the silence. "Did you find the pier?" In the dimly lit kitchen, Frank nods, a subtle smile playing on his lips, the fridge humming softly. The soft glow from the refrigerator illuminates his face, etching lines of contentment around his eyes. A sense of quiet peace washes over him, filling the silent kitchen with an unspoken relief. His smile deepens almost imperceptibly, a fleeting expression of satisfaction. He stands in the gentle light, a solitary figure amidst the stillness of the night. The kitchen becomes a sanctuary, holding the quiet confirmation. He found the pier. In the kitchen, Frank carefully arranges photographs across the table, ensuring his mother has a clear view. Landscapes and cityscapes fill the table, each holding a memory. Among the photos, one stands out, a candid shot of Christina, drawing his mother's gaze. The photograph captures a moment in time, a story silently unfolding in the kitchen's dim light. In Frank's kitchen, the night is quiet as his mother sits at the table, a sea of photographs spread before her. Her eyes are drawn to Christina's image, a gentle focus that speaks volumes. A soft smile touches her lips, a silent ode to Christina's radiant beauty. Each photograph tells a story, weaving a tapestry of moments shared and dreams envisioned. The kitchen is filled with a quiet, loving appreciation, a testament to connections that transcend words. The kitchen is steeped in shadow, a single light bulb casting a harsh glow on Frank's weary face. Etched with relief and exhaustion, Frank sits alone at the table, a solitary figure in the dim light. He leans forward, his expression earnest, his voice a low murmur in the quiet room. A confession hangs in the air as he begins to speak, his words carrying the weight of his journey. "I met someone who helped me see what I was looking for," he says, his eyes reflecting a newfound clarity. The room holds its breath, the silence amplifying the profound impact of his simple statement. Warm light spills across the kitchen, casting long, comforting shadows that dance on the walls. At the worn wooden table, a mother's hand reaches out, a lifeline of silent support in the quiet night. Her touch, gentle and firm, speaks volumes where words fall short. In the simple act of connection, a profound message of love and solidarity resonates. The kitchen becomes a sanctuary, bathed in the soft glow of shared understanding, a moment of quiet strength, a mother's unwavering presence in her son's time of need. Dim light bathes the kitchen as Frank sits alone, his figure hunched over the worn wooden table, a silhouette of sorrow. His hands are clasped tightly, knuckles white, as if holding onto a memory or a pain too great to bear. The overhead light casts long shadows, amplifying the sense of isolation and loss that clings to him. Each line on his face tells a story of hardship, etched deep by time and sorrow, mirroring the table's aged surface. A profound silence fills the room, broken only by the unspoken weight of his grief and the quiet hum of the old light. His voice, a mere whisper, breaks the silence. "I miss my father." A simple sentence, laden with years of unspoken love. Warm light spills across the kitchen as Frank stands hunched, his frame trembling with unspoken grief. Shadows dance around him, mirroring the turmoil within as he battles his pain. His mother's gentle hand strokes his hair, a silent promise of comfort and solace. "I know you're hurting, Frank," she whispers, her voice a soothing balm in the dimly lit kitchen. "I'm here for you, always. I love you," she says, her words a lifeline in his sea of sorrow. Christina stands in her art gallery, a sanctuary of creativity bathed in soft, intimate lighting. Her artwork surrounds her, each piece a story told in textures and colors. The polished floor reflects the gallery's glow, casting long, dramatic shadows. The silence amplifies the presence of each brushstroke, each carefully chosen hue. The gallery becomes a stage where art and artist converge in a symphony of light and shadow. In the hushed art gallery, the dim lighting casts long shadows, enhancing the mystique of the solitary artwork. Christina stands transfixed, her gaze absorbed by a newly framed photograph, its allure pulling her into its depths. The photograph reveals a lone man, his figure silhouetted against the expansive, foreboding sea. The sea stretches endlessly, its dark waters whispering secrets only the solitary man seems to understand. Christina's reflection flickers in the glass, merging her image with that of the man and the sea. A silent dialogue unfolds between Christina and the image, a wordless exchange of longing and introspection. Christina stands in the hushed art gallery, a gentle smile playing on her lips as the dim light catches in her eyes. Surrounded by abstract art, she is lost in a sweet reverie, her mind drifting back to a moment on the pier. Nostalgia washes over her as she relives the unexpected encounter with Frank, his presence lingering in her thoughts. "It feels like only yesterday," Christina murmurs, her voice soft as she recalls the salty breeze and Frank's laughter. The gallery fades as Christina is transported back to the pier, Frank's memory a vivid, cherished echo. Frank returns to the seaside town, the familiar scent of salt filling his senses as he breathes deeply. Streetlights cast a warm glow, painting the weathered pier in inviting hues of amber and gold. The aged wood of the pier stands in stark contrast to the dark, glittering waters below. Each step echoes with the promise of memories, both joyful and sorrowful. As Frank walks deeper into town, Frank stands silhouetted. The seaside town's lights twinkle behind him, casting dancing shadows in the sea breeze. Gentle waves wash against the shore as he gazes at the vast ocean, a thoughtful expression taking hold. He reflects on his journey, the faces, lessons, and connections, each a star in his memory. Peace settles as he finds solace in the familiar surroundings, the vast ocean mirroring his calm. Night envelops the seaside cafe, casting long shadows across the empty tables. Christina diligently cleans, the rhythmic clinking of dishes echoing in the stillness. The warm glow of the cafe's lights spills onto the dark, deserted street outside. Reflections dance in the polished surfaces as she wipes down the counter. A solitary figure against the night, Christina prepares to lock up, ending another day. Inside the seaside cafe, night casts long shadows, highlighting the emptiness of the chair where Frank once sat. Christina's gaze lingers on the vacant space, a silent echo of shared moments filling the air. A soft smile graces her lips, a subtle dance of memory and longing. The cafe lights reflect in her eyes, each flicker a tiny spark of remembrance. A gentle breeze whispers through the open window, carrying the scent of the sea and the weight of unspoken words. On Boscombe Pier, Frank slowly walks towards the edge, his figure silhouetted against the night. He pauses, the pier's end, with the dark, undulating sea stretching out before him. The sea whispers and breathes, a vast, unknowable expanse under the starlit sky. Frank's gaze is lost in the darkness, his thoughts as deep and unfathomable as the ocean itself. Under the vast night sky, Frank stands at Boscombe Pier, the sea breeze carrying away the weight of his grief. He inhales deeply, the salty air filling his lungs, a moment of catharsis washing over him. The pier lights reflect in the dark water, mirroring the flicker of hope in Frank's eyes. A serene calm descends as he finds solace in the rhythmic sounds of the waves. Night falls over Boscombe Pier, the dark sea reflecting the distant town lights. Frank gazes towards the lights, a faint glimmer of hope flickering in his eyes. The lights shimmer on the water, mirroring a yearning for connection. A solitary figure against the vast starlit sky, Frank contemplates the distant promise. As dawn breaks, Frank speeds along a winding road on his motorbike, the silhouette of his figure cutting through the dim morning light. The first rays of sun paint the horizon with hues of orange and gold as Frank continues his journey home. The engine roars, echoing through the quiet landscape, a solitary sound amidst the awakening world. Frank leans into a turn, the rising sun reflecting off his helmet, a beacon of hope in the new day. Dawn breaks, painting the winding road with soft light. Frank gazes ahead, his face etched with a serene peace. A newfound sense of purpose fills his eyes. The road stretches before him, a path to a hopeful future. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more emotional cinematic stories that stay with you long after the screen fades. Comment below. Have you ever taken a journey that changed you?